also respectfully note that behind every successful man, beside every successful man, is actually a virtuous woman. I have the special honor of recognizing the very admirable wife and consort of the author. You realize that no man can write a book successfully if he does not have a settled home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I come back to her because she's of the home. I respectfully would like to announce the arrival of the father of the day, a father in a million, a politician of distinction, an elder statesman, a multipreneur of high standing. Ladies and gentlemen, I especially recognize His Excellency Alhaji Bamanga Tukur, CON, the Tafid and Adamawa, here with us. I equally have, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of this very great day, Alhaji Dauda Birma, MFR, the Serikin Gaba Adamawa, here with us, and former Honorable Minister of Education and a well-known nationalist. Please, a better applause for him. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can get cracking now. May I humbly request that okay. I was saying before our eminent Tafida Adamawa came in that no man can write a book when the home front is in disarray. And the champion of the home front is actually the woman. You will agree with me. Ladies and gentlemen, however big the head is, it must resonate on the neck. That's also the woman. I respectfully would like to recognize the wife of the author, Lolo Monique Amadi. So, ma'am, you will be here with the Tafida. May I request that the author, by the powers conferred on me, I request the author to please come and have his space on the top table so that we can set the tone for this very great event. Thank you very much, sir, for helping to thank Madam. Lovely. Chief Amadi, you are teaching us beyond the pension today. You're teaching us how well and how civil to treat a woman. Thank you very much. I'm so very proud of you. Please, can you? Many of us, I'm sure that the only time we assist our wives to open the door of our car is when the door is bad. They don't spoil my door. Make I open now for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can start now. May I humbly request that we be upstanding as we take the national anthem. Arise, O compatriots, Nigerians, all obey to serve our Father. We love and strength and faith. I was back and never been to serve a might. One nation under freedom, beside you. May I request that we remain standing as I ask us to pray in line with our different persuasions. Can we thank the Almighty for making this day a reality? Can we also commit the totality of this program into His mighty hands? Can we thank Him for the anticipated success of this event? Can we appreciate Him for all this we have asked Him in His mighty name? Amen. We may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, can I have a voice here? My microphone is off. Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I once again respectfully appreciate the presence of all our esteemed personalities that are already in the house. I did say that about 2 weeks ago, some professionals from different backgrounds gathered in Lagos for the first leg of this presentation. And the takeaway there was that this is one of the most desirable exercise, intellectual and professional exercise, that is needed to move forward human capital in our nation, Nigeria. Today, we are here again, ladies and gentlemen, in this very, very luxuriant venue to present publicly to the public this very great book that has been authored by one of the finest minds in the professions in Nigeria, an insurance and risk manager par excellence, a very strong human capital expert, Chief Felix O. Amadi. This book is entitled Retirement in Nigeria, a Management Approach. Today, it is most heartwarming for me, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure that the father of the day, His Excellency, the Tafida Adamawa, would really like to know that before he eminently walked in, we already have seated here on this side of the divide some of our guests that are to grace this great occasion. I must mention that the representative of the chairman, Alhaji Dauda, the chairman is here, Alhaji Dauda Burma, MFR Sarkin Gabas Adamawa is here already. A round of applause for him. OFR. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I also would like to inform our royal father of the day, our father of the day, that the special guest of honor, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Abubakar Malami, SAN, is also been ably represented by Dr. Umar Chubrelu Gwandu is here. It may interest Your Excellency that His Excellency, the one-time military governor of Oyo State, one of Nigeria's finest military officers and human resource expert, Major General Paul Taffa, the chairman, Northeast Development Commission, is also already seated here. It may interest Your Excellency that retired Assistant Inspector General Charles Ugoma is already in the house. I equally have here the President and Chairman of the Governing Board of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, Dr. Mrs. Bola Onigogi, who is already seated. That's the primary constituency of our very great author today. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got the two reviewers already here seated. The book presenter, Mr. Val Ugbaruke, I hope I'm right, a legal luminary and estate developer, is already here. And I have Mrs. Omo here. Mrs. Omo is a leading light in the risk management and insurance practice in Nigeria. Mrs. Omo, you're welcome. Yes. So, and of course, sir, it may also interest you that you have before you very, very eminent dignitaries from across the spectrum of the professions and business here with us. Please, could you give a collective recognition to yourselves? It is now my honor and privilege also to recognize those delegates who are watching us online, because one of the finest beauty of the COVID-19 pandemic is that whatsoever you do in your sitting room has a potential of going all over the world. So there are people that are watching us all over the world today, and I would like to stand here to appreciate them online, virtually all over. Thank you very much. I'm sure that I can't hear their voices, but they can hear mine. May I also recognize Senator Dr. Eze Ajoku, President of Transcorp. I hope I'm right, here with us. You're welcome, sir. May I now have the honor and privilege of inviting the author of the very great book, Retirement in Nigeria, A Management Approach. Like I did say, we all know how Herculean it could be to write a letter to the editor. But for a man to sit down and devotedly write a book of substance on a very, very critical and what I call an abstract subject matter running to hundreds of pages, I think due plaudits should be given to him. I respectfully would like to invite I think somebody will have to help me call the author. Yes. Yes, it's quite expected, because when you have an event of this nature, for those of us that have engaged in it, you will discover that your blood pressure goes down by installments as the program progresses. Even the marriage of your daughters or your sons, you know how it is. So we quite understand. But please, can somebody tell Chief that he has to talk to us now? The author, sir, you have to talk to us now by way of a welcome speech. Your welcome speech. We'd like to take your welcome speech. Please, can our applause be more encouraging?
Let me first and foremost welcome my dear wife, who journeyed all the way from Lagos. Mr. Chairman, I know it is important to take permission from you whenever important matter of sport is needed. But in this case, if you welcome my wife. Mr. Chairman, sir, Alhaji Dauda Burima, the second Gabas of Adamawa, a former Minister of Education, Federal Republic of Nigeria, a man who once sought to lead his country. And whoever has encountered him will know that he's a man of very high credentials. Alhaji Dauda Burima has done so much, and I'm happy to have him here as the chairman of this occasion. The father of the day, my own father, Alhaji Dr. Bamanga Muhammadu Tuku, CON, former governor, former minister, former leader of the biggest political party in Africa, and the former, or let me put it this way, the President Emeritus, African Business Roundtable. The man who helped Africa to put together NEPAD, a senior citizen, who actually brought me up from age 29, and I've been part of his family till this day. A man who taught me to walk in the morning, to walk in the afternoon, to walk in the evening, and also to walk in the night. It is that training actually that gave rise to the book you have come to launch, or that is being presented today. Baba, I now wish to welcome some very distinguished Nigerians that are here. Major General Paul Thalfa has been in the class of the leaders of this country that mentor. He's mentored so many people and he's still mentoring. The book he saw excited him and then he made up his mind to be here. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, sir. Let me welcome the person whose office connects most to what we are doing. And that is Peter and the executive secretary who called me and told me that she would be unavoidably absent, sent the acting executive secretary in the name of Mr. Kabiru Yusuf to represent her. And that is an acknowledgement of the fact that retirement as an issue and a subject is getting attention everywhere. Let me mention the name, greet, and welcome the very lady that is supervising the section of the economy where I operate. She is, in our industry, we call her our Amazon because she's a great leader. She is Dr. Mrs. Bola Onibogi. Mama, you're welcome. Of course, in the course of the research that gave rise to this book, there were some people who, as a matter of fact, either they bought into my vision or I bought into their vision. In this case, I bought into his vision to an extent. That man is Senator Dr. Eze Ajoko and the president of COSROPE. COSROPE is a coalition of NGOs that work for the welfare of elder people in Nigeria. You're welcome, sir. Now, I welcome my book reviewers. Dr. Evans has been introduced. I don't need to polish any further. He's an intellectual par excellence who had to cancel a program he had in England for today because of this program. Dr. Evans, welcome and we're grateful. Of course, the very erudite Mrs. Fumi Omo. Fumi Omo is somebody in the insurance industry respects a lot, and she's done everything about pension and retirement. She was managing director of African Alliance, and today, managing director of Enterprise Assurance Nigeria Limited. Madam, you're welcome. Of course, the book presenter, a barrister of note, and an estate developer. Mr. Val Mbahweke. Mr. Val Mbahweke, you're welcome. There are representatives of very powerful people. I know there is somebody who has come from the office of the National Security Advisor, but he prefers to be anonymous. My brother, you are welcome. So there are people who have assisted me in spreading this good news of retirement management. I must mention Dr. Mohammed Ali. Mohammed Ali is the DG of a wonderful resource center in Kaduna that is lifting souls and making me as a person and a member of Nigerians very proud. Doctor, you're welcome. And there is Mr. Ahmed Ghazali of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners. He's here on a number of, on number of capacities. He's representing that great institution. He is also here as a co-researcher because 8 years ago we met and we continue to do this research together. Ghazali, you are welcome. There are quite a number of other friends and well-wishers who are here. Barrister, quite a number of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you, the gentlemen and ladies of the media. You are all welcome. I'm not going to speak much on this book because there are reviewers. There is at least one presenter. The other presenter is on his way. And there are people who are old enough to know what is happening to retirees in this country. They know what is going on, so they will speak. But what I need to emphasize is the reason why I embarked on this. I didn't embark on this work in order to make money. There are so many money-making issues one could write on. But 20 years ago, while reviewing military pension, I saw the challenge of making sure that retirement attracts the institution of management to itself. And that institution of management, as the book has tried to explain, involves the government, involves the employer, also involves the individual. All the stakeholders must be seen to be playing their role if retirement has to be what it should be. And as the review will eventually reveal, these issues are the things that are actually very important. So I don't want to drag this speech any further because a lot of speeches will come. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for being here. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir, the author. Please, can the applause be more befitting? May I crave the indulgence of the chairman to note that the representative of the Minister of State for the FCT is itching to step out now, and he has a very brief message for us. The chairman, I crave the indulgence for us to take. Thank you for the permission. So, can I has Dr. Kelvin Ike to please make the brief remark. You like the microphone there, or you like to come here?
The distinguished chairman of the occasion and all other protocols, please duly observed. I have an interesting assemblage of professionals here, and I wish to thank you for being in your midst. Mr. Chairman, I am here to represent the Honorable Minister of State, Federal Capital Territory, and I don't wish to stay longer there than I have done because of very urgent engagements. And I'm asked to be here in recognition of the works of Dr. Amadi. And I want to request the chairman and the author to please allow me to leave, because I would have loved to be here as long as the occasion continues, because Dr. Amadi, I met and saw some of his dissertations as a postgraduate student at the University of Ibadan. And when we were trying to study some aspects of actuarial science, some of the things he wrote in insurance. So I'm so glad to be here. And if I can sneak maybe 2 copies of the book for the attention of the Honorable Minister, and thereafter we're going to get back to him in form of encouragement and see what other things we can do with Dr. Amadi in the ministry, pensions department in the ministry will as well get contacted to him. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this wonderful occasion we are invited to, and I ask everybody to appreciate the works of Dr. Amadi. His intellectual disposition is of Himalayan dimension. And because of his birthplace, I count myself lucky to be here. J.M. Hatfield, in his book Childhood and Adolescence, says, "Breathe there the man with a soul so dead, who had never said, 'This is my own, my native land.'" Indeed, Dr. Amadi has been my own and our own, and it's from our native land. May God bless you. Distinguished chairman, I say, Akramakallah. Akramakallah. And may your days be long. To draw up somebody like you to this occasion, it means that he has gone so far to make sure that his intellectual capacity and capability is made known to the high and mighty in Nigeria. I also conclude by telling you, Familiam Tuan Ekesmus Domine. God bless this family, we pray, O Lord. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The representative of the Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory. He has made a request, and I'm sure that members of the planning committee will do that subterraneously for him, because the book is yet to be, the veil on the book is yet to be removed. But please, can the planning committee members kindly respond to that request? Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I invite the next speaker, I have in our midst, Mr. Tony Ojukwu, Esquire, the Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission. Mr. Tony Ojukwu, Esquire. A round of applause for him. And I have Alhaji Dr. Teslim Adekunle Sanusi, ably represented by Mr. Bello. A round of applause for him. Please permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to allow the microphone to find a humanist of distinction, an intellectual that has found himself in several fields of human endeavor, a former minister of education in Nigeria, and the Sarikin Gabas of Adamawa, Alhaji Dauda Brima, OFR, to please give his remarks.
Father of the day, Dr. Alhaji Bamanga Tuko. We appreciate your being here, and your being here indicates the seriousness with which you take the efforts of those people you have mentored in your life. Major General Paul Tarfa, please don't accuse me of nepotism. He is my cousin, but an outstanding soldier who made his debut in 1966. The history of Nigeria would have been different from what it became if Major General Paul Tarfa, as a second lieutenant, did not display courage and foresight and played the role he played on the 15th and 16th January 1966. Major General Paul Tarfa, until the end of your life, Nigeria will continue to owe you a tremendous amount of gratitude. The representative of the Minister of Justice and all other people who are gathered here, I will repeat what has been said at Rewe Salute. Now, I canceled a lot of prospective engagements to make sure that I did not miss this occasion. But the important thing I want you to notice is Dr. Alhaji Bamanga Tuko wanted to be here, hoped to be here, and he is here. Because he regards Felix Amadi as his son. Now, regarding Felix Amadi as his son, speaks about Bamanga Tuko himself and speaks about Felix Amadi. If Dr. Bamanga Tuko as Tafidan Adamawa would feel he has to be here, he is a person who regards himself as a father to everybody who has come up to him and said, I am your son. The reason why people like Bamanga Tukur are alive today and are in circulation is because God knows deep down in their hearts they love Nigeria and they want Nigeria to progress and not split up and not to be run down. We hope at Bamanga's age today, he will still be around for the next 10 years so that he continues mentoring those he has mentored, and those he has led. I am specifically targeting and speaking about these two people. Incidentally, Alhaji Bamanga Tukur, Dr. Bamanga Tukur is Tafidan Adamawa, and Major General Paul Tarfa is also from Adamawa, a prince of the royal house of Garkida. And it would be of interest to a lot of people who don't know enough about you that he joined the army in February 1962 on the same day with General Buhari. And they were screened together, corralled into the army together, only that when they were sent to their respective courses, General Buhari was sent probably to Pakistan, and General Paul Tarfa was sent to Canada. Now, we've come to launch a book. I am attached to the book as a former Minister of Education. Everything that gets into a book, it's information that has been put into that book to further education in whatever field. It is unfortunate that Nigeria does not look at education the way it should look at it. Because every single thing you do for the advancement of this country is tied to education. And to those people who feel that education is expensive, it has been said, if you insist education is expensive, why don't you go and try ignorance? Ignorance is much more expensive. Therefore, at no price is education expensive. Then I come to the author of this book. Felix Amadi has impressed me from the day I met him. And incidentally, I met him under the auspices of Dr. Alhaji Bamanga Tukur. And he realized what I was capable of doing. And in 2012, he invited me to the New Yam Festival in Owerri. And in spite of the tortuous paths I had to take to get there, I got to Owerri at about 12:30 in the morning to be able to attend the New Yam Festival. Since that time, I have remained half friend, half uncle, half brother, half mentor. Now, Felix Amadi casts his net very wide to be able to emphasize to Nigeria that he is a Nigerian and not somebody who is myopic or who looks only after his immediate surrounding. He hasn't. In a recent interview I had with the Sun newspaper, I addressed the people of the Southeast and I castigated them for not being diligent in their leadership recruitment. Because I said, if the East had been particular and meticulous in its leadership recruitment, it would have recruited people like Felix Amadi. Please don't look at his diminutive size. It is his brain that matters. I also said they should bring in people like Professor Obiozo and people like Senator Ken Namani, who have demonstrated that they love this country. But the bug that eats the Southeast is that if you don't have money, you are nobody. But money is a vehicle that takes you to a certain place, which is what resides in your head and what resides in your heart that makes you a leader. Now we have this book. It's talking about retirement. I am passionate about the book because by some fortune or misfortune, I have not been privileged to prepare for my retirement. And nobody has ever given me 10 kobo as pension all my life, and today I am 80. I survived on the grace of the Lord, but not by the preparation of employers. I worked for the Nigerian Tobacco Company for 4 years and opted out. I got into the Northern States Marketing Board, worked for 2 years, and the Northeast Ministry of Trade and Industry came and fished me out because they said they needed me. And during the change of government in 1975, I was annoyed and gave them 1 day notice and quit the job and started my own business. And my own business doesn't pay me any pension or prepare me for retirement. Therefore, I am passionate about what I have missed, because not everybody is as lucky as I am to have survived without a pension plan or without a retirement plan. So this is a very important thing. In life, when you succeed, you show those behind you how you succeeded. If you defaulted, show them where you defaulted so that they avoid the default. Now, this book is very important. But we are talking of two phenomena. We are talking about the message and the messenger. The message is the book and its content. The messenger is the person who wrote the book and who, in spite of all trepidations and the doubts that prevailed, decided to write the book. Nothing is as frightening as writing a book, because you are putting your thoughts on paper, never to be able to retrieve them, and always to be there to defend them and to make sure that every time anybody talks to you about the book, you are on alert either to defend or to savor the accolades of what you have written. This boldness is not in everybody. It is a risk. Felix, Amadi, and Amadi. If you read the book and you appreciate what he has said and it has guided you, you say thank you for what he has done. If you are iconoclastic and you want to find faults there, there is no reason why you will not find faults. But what you should know is that when you find faults what he has written, remember, you have not sat down to write anything. If you want to castigate somebody who has put pen to paper and has put ideas, try doing that. You will find that in 3 months, you have changed so many papers, you have withdrawn so many ideas, and you have now come to a stage where you would want to deny some of the things you wrote only about 2 weeks ago. So Felix, Amadi, we want to say thank you to you for advancing your thoughts on paper. And for those Igbos who say that when you meet somebody from Mbise and you see a snake, kill the man from Mbise before you kill the snake, that is a mistake. Don't kill the man from Mbise. And I think the unserious jester who made this idea popular still remains an unserious jester. And he said it in a manner of joke, but because of entertainment and the lyrics around it, it took off and people keep on repeating it. But I think Those people I've met in Imbise are people whom God has blessed Nigeria with. And we want them to continue to move forward. I'm a politician. I always want to be the politician I am. For those who probably don't know me enough, in 1989, I tried being governor of Adamawa State. Out of 8 aspirants in my political party, I came number 6. So I only defeated 2 people. That did not stop me from being a politician. In 2003, I ventured and I told myself, since I lost being governor of Adamawa, I would now venture to be president of Nigeria. And I ran in 2003, only to step down for who now is President Muhammad Buhari. And I stepped down for him, not because he asked me to, but because I thought with the resources available to me and the amount of knowledge of me by people, I could only embark on brinksmanship. And you know that when you embark on brinksmanship, don't make sure that you don't tip over at the brink. When you get close to the brink, you say, if you don't rescue me, I'm going to follow. And then you are rescued. I did that again in 2007. I have no regrets whatsoever. I'll continue to be in politics so long as I am alive. Now, the message, as I have told you, is the book. Retirement and preparation for pension and for being looked after. The reviewer of the book is going to get into the book. And therefore, I should not move into the book and preempt the reviewer, who is probably an intellectual. I'm only an education administrator. But I am qualified enough to talk about education and talk about the books and things like that, because my days at Amadi University before 1967 have adequately prepared me, but that is beside the point. So I want to thank our father, Dr. Alhaji Bamanga Tukur. You can see how he came in. He's still vibrant. He still has validity, which will expire after the next 10 years. And we want to thank Major General Paul Tarfa, who is today heading the Northeast Development Commission. He knows the place very well. And I believe at the end of his tenure, the Northeast Development Commission is going to deliver. And please, don't read what is happening in NDDC and assume that it is going to happen under the water. He's a disciplined person who I can testify with my heart, who is not corrupt and who is not going to allow corruption in whatever form to take place, because he is very particular about the fact that he has to leave a legacy which is defensive, having been a prince himself as son of the former head of Garikida, where we come from. I will stop there. I'm chairman. Nobody has said that I should make sure everybody listens to me at infinity. I thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
I thought the applause should be louder for him. It's always a very hard task for the master of ceremonies to speak after an orator of distinction has made such a powerful prefatory remarks. But he has deputed me to stand here today as master of ceremonies. And so I will not be mollified by his very, very huge stature when it comes to rhetorical skills. I respect you, sir. And I also want to say, sir, that you don't need any form of pension payment. Because a man who has social capital has everything. A man who has mentored people that on the tap of the finger, whatsoever currency he wants, whether in euro, in pound sterling, in dollars, or in anything, they will run to go and give it to him. That's the caliber of our chairman. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will make it hop, step, and jump. It's very, very suicidal for a master of ceremonies to ask the chairman to shorten the time, but he has given me the mandate to shorten the time for every other person so that at the end of the day, we will operate within the prism of time and live here happier. Thank you very much. So I would respectfully like to invite the representative of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Abubakar Malami SAN, whose representative is here, to please come and talk to us.
The chairman of the occasion, Alhaji Dauda Birma OFR, Sarkin Gabas of Adamawa, former Minister of Education. The royal father of the day, an elder statesman, Alhaji Dr. Bamanga Tukur, the Tafida of Adamawa. Major General Paul Tapa, former military administrator, and the chair for the head of Northeast Development Commission. Representative of the Executive Secretary, Peter, Mr. Kabir Yusuf, the representative of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, Alhaji Ghazali Ibrahim, retired AIG, the Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, retired and serving civil servants and uniform officers, the author of the book and his dear wife as well, the reviewers of the book and the book presenter, distinguished invited guests, both here online and offline, other invited dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, including the gentlemen of the press, a very good afternoon. The Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami-san, intended to be here personally, but he was asked to attend to a very important national assignment. And he asked me to come and represent him as well as deliver his address. The address. I feel highly elated to be found worthy of consideration for extension of invitation for me to attend this important event. Today's function is a unique one. It is for the formal presentation of a very important book written by a friend, an eminent and distinguished Nigerian who is committed to the cause of having a prosperous country where those who serve the nation are adequately compensated during their old age. We are here because of our concern for the future of our heroes, whose labor and commitment in service shall never be in vain. Retirement is expected to be a time of ecstasy and joy, when senior citizens enjoy gloomy and flourishing life, reaping the bountiful harvest of what they sow during their years of active service. It is a pity that in some developing societies, retirement is characterized by a gloomy life of misfortunes, convolutedly griddled by poverty, sickness, and vulnerability, which are aggravated by physical challenges, psychological trauma, and sometimes social depression. The author of the book has demonstrated not only inviolable prowess in scholarship, but also concern for public interest and the general welfare of the aged and retired. Through carefully and painstakingly coming up with this book that talks about the welfare and well-being of Nigerians who put forward their remarkable years of usable exuberance to the promotion of noble ideals in this country. While many do write on issues and areas which are apparently lucratively prosperous, the author's intent in writing this book will be to draw the attention of stakeholders of the dire need to design and implement new and better strategies, as well as enhanced ways for the retirees. It takes a pristine mind to think about a desirable future for those who have established enduring legacies during their active service. I reiterate the commitment of the federal government, including the Office of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, for the improvement of the welfare of Nigerians, especially retired senior citizens, through adherence to what best serves their interest of citizens in the spirit of the rule of law and extant regulations. On this note, it is instructive to note that the present administration reviewed the pension laws in 2014. The Office of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation is ready for the review of pension laws whenever the need arises, in order to accommodate the emerging trends with a view to serve the best interests of the retired civil servants in view of the contemporary realities of life in modern times. To address the excruciating pain and difficulties faced by pensioners, all stakeholders, including government at state levels and pension fund administrators, will have to ensure prompt and timely payment of entitlements of pensioners. State houses of assembly will also have to be supported to come out with laws that best serve the interests of the teeming retired personalities. It is also imperative to ensure timely remitting of contributions of civil servants to the designated pension funds. It is on this note, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has asked me to announce his personal commitment and unflinching support to this noble undertaking. The Honorable Minister of the Federation, Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has asked me to deliver his personal financial contribution, which will be given before I leave this hall. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the representative of the Honorable Minister and the Attorney General of the Federation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, before I invite the reviewers, there is an author, a celebrated author in pension, that said the ages between 26 and 50 is actually the age of accumulation. 50 to 65 is consolidation and preservation. And 65 and above is for dissipation and transfer. I'm sure that the concept that the author has put forward today will properly find itself situated within this demography as well as a wealth transfer web. It is on this note that I'd like to invite the first reviewer of this book, an intellectual in business, Dr. Evans Uwerem, PhD, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Compometric Solutions Limited, and Chairman, Digital Africa. A round of applause for him.
Haji Manga Tutu, Jonathan Pratt. Please, I say all other right. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, my name is Evans, and believe you me, absolutely delighted and I feel very honored to have been called to be here today to review such a good book. For those that have known me, you know that I have an FTP, a massively transformative purpose. And my own massively transformative purpose is to see to it that Africa becomes developed, and also to see to it that Nigeria becomes the preeminent country in Africa by all yardsticks, especially in the areas of technology. Now, from time to time, I see things that really aligns with my MTP. And this book, believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, aligns very well with my MTP because it is something that is going to, at the end of the day, help towards the progress we're trying to make in ultimately making Nigeria a preeminent country in Africa. Now, in the course of this, my presentation, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make some introductory remarks. And after that introductory remarks, I'll give some backgrounds on the author, and then I'll talk about some of the things I call some preliminaries, after which I'll give a general description of the book, and then I will also say something about the book in detail. I'm also going to talk about the importance and uses of the book. Then I'll also say something about the failings of the book. But you find out that there are practically no failings. When you read a book, most of the time you see things that are very good, you see things that are bad. Often you also see things that are very ugly. But believe you me, this was one book that I found very difficult, to put down. And believe you me, it has very, very few failings. I'll also talk about appendices and indexes, and then I'll make some recommendations before also, making some conclusions. Now, as you all now know, this book is called Retirement in Nigeria, a Management Approach, and it is by Chief Felix O. Amadi. And the book argues that we all need to have an orderly, or shall I say, a managed approach for planning, managing, and coping with issues to do with retirement, hence this book. So far, as you all, can agree with me, retirement in our country has often not been planned. It is largely done in an ad hoc manner. A lot of us wait until retirement hits us. We never try to plan. And we all know that in life, it's always good to plan. For they say, those that don't plan are those that often really are planning to fail. Now, in terms of background on the author, as you can see, and all this you can also see at the back of the book, he has a bachelor's degree in actuarial science and insurance, and as well as an MBA. He has accumulated a lot of experience working in the areas of pensions and in the area of insurance, has done a lot of research there, did massive work even for the Ministry of Defense Ministry, Directorate of Military Pensions. And he currently is the Managing Director and CEO of Crown Insurance Brokers, and is also an Executive Director of Noble and Leslie Consult Limited. Now, in terms of preliminaries, now if you take a look at the book, you see that the book shows the picture of a person that has two heads. One part of the head says retirement, but the other part that looks behind says pension, which is apt, in my opinion, because if you want to plan retirement, most of the time you are planning for that period when you become somebody that is no longer working. And one way of making sure that that is, the case is to make sure that you have a good pension. So, in other words, pension is the other side, is the back side of retirement. Now, you will also find out that the book makes some important notices. For example, it makes a disclaimer with regard to the accuracy, the correctness, and so on and so forth, even the completeness of the book, as you will see in many books of this nature. And then you also see that the book has a foreword, and that foreword was written by no other than our own Tafidan Adamawa, Alhaji Dr. Bamanga Chuku. I'm going to make one or two comments with regard to the foreword provided by the Tafidan Adamawa. Now, the book also has comments where 6 eminent personalities of our country made comments on the book. I'm also going to show something on that. And then the book also has a section on acknowledgement where the author used ample time to thank all those that have contributed one way or the other towards his success in life and also towards the writing of this book. And then you will also find out one of the other pages that the author dedicated the book to his parents, to Pa Nze Innocent Amadi and to Ma Ezinne Maria Amadi. And also the book has a preface. You find out that the preface was written by the author himself. In terms of the foreword, Tafidan Adamawa commended the federal government of Nigeria for the effort it has made in renewing and reviewing pension laws in our country. First in the year 2004, which was revised in 2014, and which are the pension laws that are still guiding us up to today. He also makes the point that employers and their employees today make contributions for pensions rather than wait on government or other employers to look for money. He also says that he strongly feels that pension administration may not be serving very appropriately its real statutory, social, and economic purpose, which is to provide pension to a retiring employee properly and timely. So we have these pension laws in the country that are now guiding what we are doing, making us to make some progress. But you'll also see there are still some areas of improvement that are needed. Now, in terms of the comments, as I said, comment by 6 eminent personalities, but I'm just going to touch on 3. The first one is by Professor Abdallah Uba Adamu, who is the Vice Chancellor, National Open University. He says that he has read this book thoroughly and that it is an important document for individuals, groups, and corporate organizations, that it's a must read for all stakeholders. He also goes on to, the other person is Most Reverend Dr. Alfred Adewale Martins, who is the Roman Catholic Archbishop of Lagos. He says, coming from a brilliant hands-on professional, that the book has brought to the fore critical issues which have remained outside our social policy framework. Let the legislatures and policymakers know that it is now time to begin to consider the welfare of the elderly as is obtainable in all civilized parts of the world. Says that the book, Retirement in Nigeria, this is being said by Rashid Kola Ojikutu, who is professor and former dean, Faculty of Management Sciences, University of Lagos, says that the book is very well written, very comprehensive, and highly informative text, which in content and structure will benefit the legions of retirees in Nigeria. Now, in terms of the preface itself, the author himself points out that in writing this book, he wasn't merely trying to showcase all kinds of management theories. For example, the theories of people like Max Weber or Frederick Taylor, and people like Henry Fayol. That rather he was trying to present us with a practical book that can enable every individual and even organizations to do things to do with retirement to be done in a planned, manner. And he goes on to say that retirement socioeconomic burden emanates from retirement living gap, which is the difference between the finances the retiree needs to sustain his normal life and the financial resources available to him at each and every point in his retirement. And he also points out that the inability of the individuals to subject retirement to a proper management process, for instance, affect the socioeconomic of a country in two ways. First, that it's the transference of financial resources could be used by many in a production process that grows the economy, but to a retiree purely on social and humanitarian grounds by family, friends, and foes. Secondly, he says that this alms given, the aggregate of which hurts the economy, hardly scratches the burden of the individual retiree, which may have been exacerbated by age, illness, and disability. Now, the book has a table of contents. If you look at the table of contents, you find out that the book is divided into parts. It has 6 parts, and each of those parts has an introduction as well as some chapters. For example, you find out that chapter 1, part 1 has 11 chapters, and part 2 has 6 chapters, part 3 has 8 chapters, part 4 has 3 chapters, part 5 has 3 chapters, and part 6 has annexures, and each of which there are 4 annexures. Now, in terms of the general description of the book, I took a look at this book. After reading this book, I found that it is solid, it is very comprehensive, it is so difficult to put down once you start reading it. It is absolutely comprehensive. It has almost everything and beyond of what I feel a book of this nature should have. So after reading it, I jotted something down. And what I jotted down is that this is a huge, exotic, life-saving, beautiful dish, cooked and served to be so compelling and nourishing, and that it can be stored and gobbled up so many other times at will. Now, the subject matter of this book and the extent of the depth and the painstaking diligence or details of how the book is treated matters. It means that this is a book that many will refer to from time to time. And that, to me, is the reason why I'm also delighted that the book came in hard cover, which means you can store it, you can, as time goes, refer to it as many times as you like. Now, the book in details, Retirement in Nigeria, a Management Approach by Felix O. Amadi uses a very easily understandable and non-standoffish English. The book has 6 parts and 30 chapters, as I pointed out, and each of those parts have their own specific chapters, as you can see below and as I pointed out earlier. Now, when you are looking at the issue of retirement, as the book, takes very seriously, it has to be planned. You have to take note of the fact, that a time will come when you're not going to have the kind of energy you used to have. A time will come when your mind will not be as fecund as it used to be. A time will come when even the organization you're probably working for will want you to make way for other people that are younger to come up, to take the seats, the reins of power. And as a result of that, you need to make sure that you plan, for this. If you don't plan for it, life can also become hellish instead of being beautiful. Now, as a result of this, the author, paints a picture in terms of what retirement means. He says that it's a period of reduced or adjusted physical and mental activity. And particularly here in Nigeria, he says that a Nigerian retiree as one who willingly, in other words, by the person's own volition, or who contractually, by agreement with the organization the person is working for, statutorily, by law, or even who was forced by the organization or by some other circumstances to leave the services the person is engaged in, to leave the person's duty post upon or after attaining a certain age or a prescribed number of years in service with the attendant loss of income from such services. The retiree's life thereafter depends on the personal savings, if any, retirement benefits, where applicable, and other economic, social, and cultural advantages at his disposal. The book also introduces us to what is a good planning process. For you to begin your planning process, you have to realize that you have to look at some internal factors, those factors that affect you as an individual. Take them into consideration and also look at the factors that are emanating from where you work, your employer environment, and then also factors that are from the general environment. You take all these things into consideration to start, your planning. And also, now, when you decide to plan, and believe you me, you don't have to plan only when you are, let's say, in your 50s. You can even start to plan as soon as you even start work, even when you are in your 20s or whatever. But even if you miss out, starting to plan in the 20s or 30s or 40s, you can still plan whenever you can before, you retire. And when once you have this, need to, plan, make sure you gather your necessary information, you set your goals, and then you formulate strategies of how you are going to end up in terms of your own retirement planning. And from time to time, you review those your strategies and goals. Now, the book also makes the point that retirement, whether we like it or not, is something that is going to happen to every one of us. There's something every one of us that are here gathered have in common, and that is that we are all going to be retired one day. And since this is what is going to happen to every one of us, it's always good to make sure we plan. What is happening in our country today is not good enough. What is happening today is that we all leave this until retirement plan hits us. And most of the time we are surprised. Most of the time we are caught unawares. And most of the time we end up living, from mouth, from hand to mouth. And this is not good enough. If you plan, you can even live a more blissful, life. Now, in planning, you have to also take into consideration where you're coming from. Are you coming from a public sector environment? He listed areas there, the federal public sector, the state public sector, and then local government, service. These are areas you can come, from that are to do with that. Then the private sector, it could be corporate service that has about 3 people or more, a private service that has less than, 3 people, a personal service, or even your own service where you are literally the person doing everything, for yourself at a very, lower scale. Now, we all need to also, but once you plan, you make sure you are also managing what you plan, managing your retirement eventually. In Nigeria, shock is evident on most people as they step into retirement, and this is because at the end of the day, they failed, to plan. And mind you, even when you have planned, society could still surprise you, because society, the world we are living in, of course, is full of all kinds of variables, and these variables and how they interplay could also mean that you might also be surprised. Now, some of the shocks retirees experience in the area of next accommodation. You come out and you find out probably where you were living, was given to you by your employer. Now you've left that. Now you have to cope with where else you're going to live. It's a problem. Some people undergo that problem. Cash that used to flow freely with you now becomes a problem. Children are still in school. Your health could be failing. You have to take note of all this. You might also realize that your family members are uncaring. The kind of fame you used to have no longer is there. When you were working somewhere as a manager, as a general manager, or even a director, you had certain amount of fame. But once you leave, almost the very first day you have left, you realize all those things are no longer there, with you. You are now Mr. Ordinary, like most other, people. How do we also plan to cope with all that? And that's the reason why I'm delighted. This book, it touches everything. It goes even into the psychology of the whole thing, how you are going to be affected. It goes even into the biology, the medicine, the medical, situation people can find themselves as a result of, retirement. So how to prepare psychologically, how to prepare medically, so that when that time comes, you are going to be able to cope with it. It's very, very important. Pet project, your pet project now could be challenged. A rancorous succession could ensue. The experience of earlier retirees are so demoralizing. So as a result of that, you are, shocked. Now, in terms of RMOs, by that I mean retirement management organizations, there are quite a few of them here in Nigeria. For example, the National Pension Commission, the pension funds administrators, pension funds custodians, life insurance companies, pension transitional arrangement directorate, and so on and so forth. Now, in terms of the future of retirement management, it's something that is very important. Now, yes, by 2004 Act and 2014 Act, we have put up a pension law that is now guiding us and helping us so much. But we still need to do more. And in order to do more, we need to also be looking at towards the future. There's no going saying that there still exist legal gaps and other kinds of gaps in what we presently have by way of the 2014 law. whether through a strategic plan, oil at the macro level, or through evolutionary chance events that emanate from the environment. Retirement management as a body of knowledge and theater of action is steadily taking roots in Nigeria, but there are still things we need to get right, which begs for more research. We need to do more research. We need to learn of much of what is happening in other parts, of the world that seem to be getting it right, so that we can apply those here. So research is very, very important. For retirement industry in Nigeria, it is expected to incubate various levels of professionals at the end of the day, who in their services to the retiree will anchor the noble jobs of the pension regulators. There are going to be even more people that are going to be dedicated to serving retirees as we move into the future in this country. For example, we have experts who are experts in research in matters affecting retirees. We'll have them, here in this country going forward. Social workers that are dedicated towards serving retirees, towards serving the aged, is also going to, take root in this our country. We also are going to have all kinds of advocates for retirees, legislative actions, contributors and retirees under the Pension Act, fidelity and indemnity insurance covers for PFAs and PFCs, corporate social responsibility, also some of the things we are going to begin to witness in our country. Retirement, now from a global perspective, retirement and its funding aimed at avoiding old age poverty has remained a topical issue in both the developed countries of the world and in the developing countries of the world. Because of its importance and growing complexity, pension reforms has since the 1980s swept through most countries of Europe, Latin America, Asia, and even here in Africa. A country may embark on pension reforms as a result of some of these issues you see there, to seek to strengthen the structures that support existing old age security, to cope with the effects of changing demography, to promote economic growth and development through fund mobilization, to enhance regulation, and so on and so forth. Now, the book points out that the World Bank has 5 pillars or 5 models of how to carry out retirement planning. Now, for example, zero pillar. This is non-contributory. It is provided mainly by, the government. The first pillar, this is mandatory with contributions linked to earnings and with the objectives of replacing, and this is mainly by the individual. The second pillar, it's also mandatory. Here it is defined contribution, meaning the individual is making contribution, the employer also is making contribution. And then the third pillar, this is made up of voluntary plans so in addition, you can even have a defined contributory plan you are having as a result of the organization you are working for. But in addition to that, there are also some other contributions you can also arrange and make as a result of what you yourself want. There's also a fourth pillar, which consists of informal support efforts such as family and social programs. Now, in terms of a global perspective, perspective from the UK, it also has those 3 pillars. From Canada and from Australia, you find they all have those 3 pillars. And within the developing countries of the world, you also have, examples from South Africa, India, and Chile. And you find out that they too also have those 3 pillars. In fact, you find that the one we have here in Nigeria is as a result of works that were done mainly in Chile. Now, for us to go forward here in Nigeria, we need to borrow a lot from what is happening outside. Now, I say the book has appendix, 2, 3, 4, which covers Pension Act 1990, Armed Forces Pension, Constitution of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, and then Constitution of the Nigerian Legion. Now, I told you earlier that in terms of failings of the book, I didn't, see much that I can report as the failings of the book. Rather, this book thrilled me to no end. And as a result of that, I couldn't, put it in. But when I used certain, magnifying glasses, then I saw some of this, what I would call merely typographical errors. The details, if you look at the the handout from my presentation, you can see some of those details. Now, in terms of the importance of the book is essential to guide would-be retirees in planning for and managing their eventual retirement. The book provides a major knowledge source base for all information needed in the retirement planning and management ecosystem. Now, in terms of conclusion, the book meets, to me, all expectations that all the expectations that the author set out for himself in order, to write this book. And retirement in Nigeria, a management approach uses very understandable. That's the good thing I like about the book. Very understandable, non-standoffish English. You read it, almost anybody can understand and be carried along, reading this book. It's a book of retirement. Despite its obvious importance, and we all have to retire at some point of our life, is usually not the type of book many would like to pick up for reading. But in this book, you find out that it's a book you wouldn't want to put down. I don't think there is anyone who will not benefit, from this book. So I encourage every one of us to read it. And lastly, I give a big thank you to the author of this book. As the MC pointed out, to write a book is not an easy thing at all. Try to write a page that is going to be published,
And I give a big thanks to you also. Thank you very much. Thank you. We are grateful. Thank you. Thank you. No.
Thank you very much for that very, very comprehensive and detailed review of the book. Please, subsequently, our subsequent speakers, we've got some very elderly people here, and keeping them so long on the seat may not be too healthy. You agree with me? I wonder why 50-year-old people are doing like this. Okay, because you also will get old sometime. So please, we'll make it very, very brief henceforward. Can I invite the second reviewer, Mrs. Fumi Omo, MD, Enterprise Life Assurance Nigeria Limited, for a brief review. Thank you. Okay, I can.
Okay, distinguished chairman, I will try and be very, very brief because the earlier reviewer has done a lot of work. I must say that what I think he did was to use binoculars to look at every page and be sure to bring out the content of the book. So I will go straight to save time. I'll just go straight to a few comments I have regarding the book. I won't bother with the review. And I think that's where there's a slight difference between my perspective and that of the earlier speaker. So I will start by commending Chief Amadi for a great job, as we have all agreed to, and to say that even though the earlier speaker said it's a very good book and there are no other sides to it, I have a few questions which I would like Chief Amadi to pay attention to. And as we have with technology, you have version 1, 2, and so on. It keeps getting better with time. I also expect that with this book, there will be subsequent editions, reviewed editions. So I go straight to the questions I have. The author has packed raw gold in over 400 pages for all of us. In simple language, he has demystified retirement for all classes of readers. Be you an academic, an enthusiast, industry player, or just a lover of knowledge, this book gives you a run through on everything retirement. However, a few observations. One, there seems to be little focus on youthful retirement or even forced ones. Many do not have the luxury of planning for retirement, as our chairman had mentioned earlier, and thus miss on the first part of which the book addresses. Perhaps you need to consider a future volume that highlights the pros and cons of unplanned retirement. Second, the second part did very well on managing retirement, but then the analysis seems to be generic and is not delineated across gender. Are you saying men take retirement same way as women? What is the skew of this imbalance? Because there is definitely an imbalance. What can be done? What factors affect these? Comment number 3, is it possible to consider a second retirement? Because some of us have had the opportunity of a first retirement, and we have the luxury of being able to prepare for another retirement. I have had one retirement, and I'm currently in another engagement with the hope of retiring. So it's a good time for us to plan. And so, is it possible to consider a second retirement? The book totally assumes we all get to retire once. In this age and time, some have the good fortune of retiring twice. In some places, like chairman, more than twice. Where is there a place in the entire value chain? What are those factors that necessitate this? And what are the available resources for these kinds of people beyond the usual? Seeing as they are not, as we all know, the usual breed. And so my conclusion is this: retirement in Nigeria, the management approach, is a delightful read with a quality presentation. It's a book that struggles between academic exercise and a casual read. But we all know the subject is anything but casual. I recommend everyone, including departments of insurance as well as public libraries, to have this on their shelf. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Please, can that be more encouraging? Well, she's come with a lot of posers to the author, and in every intellectual exercise, you have what is called the thesis, and then you have the antithesis. And the antithesis gives back to the synthesis. So this book is a seminal one. So in your next publication, second edition, I want you to attend to those questions and not now, okay? So please, a round of applause for the author. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to the high point of the presentation of this book. According to Marcus Aurelius, who undertook a research in the United States, he said 2% of the people read, 3% don't read but think they read, and 95% don't read at all. And that is why he was not surprised to postulate that the 2% that read actually take 95% of the global wisdom and wealth. The 3% actually struggle with the 2% resources and wealth. Today, there is a reorientation towards the culture of reading, particularly to the very, very topical issue of pension, which is, by its pronunciation itself, evokes some kind of phobia in the hearts of so many people. So I would like to invite to make the presentation Barrister Val Ugbaruike. I hope I'm right. Ugbaruike. Okay, so please just pardon me. I will do my Igbo language after now. As a legal practitioner and estate developer, he's going to be here to unveil the book, and then I would have the privilege of allowing our father of the day to chip in a word and then also present the book which was written by his son to all of us who are his son's admirers. So please, can I humbly request that the book be unveiled now? Yes, sir. The microphone is yours.
The chairman, the royal father of the day, and all other protocols observed. As the MC has previously warned, there's no need to, the two gentlemen, the two reviewers, the previous reviewers, have said everything about the book. And if I keep on going forward to say the content of the book, then people might just walk away without buying it. So regarding the author, I want to thank the chairman because I'm from Mbise. There's this myth that is as old as the earth himself, that if you see an Mbise man and the snake, that you should kill an Mbise man first before the snake. Thank you very much, sir, for that clarification. And thank you, the author, for bringing the chairman to Mbise. Without wasting time, because we've already taken time of the senior citizens, I want to go ahead. I'll go ahead and present the book and unveil it to the glory of God and for the benefit of humanity. Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe you hold it, sir. Sorry, the master of ceremonies has some powers. You know. But please don't bring it up after now so that I can go home to sleep. I will humbly request that the chairman, sir, you be close. Daddy, you also be close. His Excellency, sir, you will also be very close. Thank you very much, sir, for those very profound revelations that you gave about Major General Portafa. Yes, that was quite profound. Thank you very much, sir. I really wish that photographers would do me a favor today by taking a snapshot of me and all these eminent dignitaries often seen in the newspapers and had in the history book. Thank you. Please, could you move closer to the book? Well, ladies and gentlemen, at over 80, at over 90, our babas here, their alacrity is still very super when some of us after 50 are suffering from lumbago problems. A round of applause for them. The president of the Our Council, please, ma, Dr. Mrs. Bola Onibogi, you have to be here. I can assist you. Second review, first and second reviewers, please, could you be down? All right. Yes. The AIG Charles Ogomo, please, sir, could you also join these eminent gentlemen and ladies? Okay, so you can make your commitment, sir.
Okay, even though I look like the smallest here, I'll be launching the book with a sum of 250,000.
The father of the day, can the microphone find?
On behalf of the father of the day, this book is launched, and just when I say father of the day, I think I have to mention the name for record purposes. On behalf of the father of the day, Alhaji Bamanga Tukur, Doctor, this book is launched for 500,000 naira. Major General Paul Tarfa, Chairman of Northeast Development Commission, is going to launch the book. I'm not authorized to say at what price. I'll give him the microphone. He will say it himself.
What an excuse me. What an honor to be here in the first place, and thank you very much, Felix, our national treasurer, chairman of the father of the day, Alhaji Dr. Babanga Tukur. Thank you very much, sir. I'm here in my capacity as General Treasurer, a friend of the author, not really representing the Northeast Development Commission. I got this invitation as a friend. Can I short? Hello? 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 So I came because I know the value of the book. So in my capacity, I am buying this book at the sum of 500,000 naira. Thank you very much.
Whoever wants to pick can, in no particular order, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today wearing two hats. So, on behalf of the entire membership of Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, I launched this book with an undisclosed amount. And on behalf of my own company, CBO Insurance Brokers Limited, I launched this book with the sum of 200,000.
My name is Chifuzo Umume. I'm UK based. I was drafted into this book launch just on my way to another meeting. Got me an invitation. And I have that my father is here, so I have to make a quick picture. I'm sure you'll be very surprised that I'm standing right beside you. So, I would like to launch this book.
Mr. Chairman, sir, on behalf of Nigeria Union of Pensioners, I buy these two books at the cost of 200,000 naira.
I'm indeed honored to be the reviewer both in Lagos and then in Abuja. So on behalf of my company, Enterprise Life Nigeria, I would like to launch with 200,000. I did mine in Lagos in my personal capacity.
I am the chairman of Northlink Insurance, so insurance brokers. On behalf of Northlink Insurance Brokers, I launched this book with an undisclosed amount. We made known to Chief Amadi later. And then on behalf of myself as an individual, I also launched it with 100,000 naira. AIG Dr. Charles Ukomo, the retired Assistant Inspector General of Police. I want to align with my brother, Dr. Felix Amadi, to be a son to our father, His Excellency Bamanga Tuko. I'm very, very delighted to be close to you and our chairman, His Excellency too, and all the rest of us here. We have a foundation, CUG Foundation, which Dr. Amadi is on the platform. I will launch on behalf of that foundation, which I'm the chairman, with undisclosed amount. You have to meet you. But as a retired AIG, I'm going to pick a copy with 100,000.
Okay. Your Excellency, sir. My name is Ayodini. I represent Dr. Dina Abubakar Isa. Abubakar Isa, Chairman, MD of Spectrum Medina Limited. We are launching, we are buying 50 copies of the book for 500,000 naira.
The floor? Yes, we may be seated. The floor, please, you want to publicly identify with this? I can see Mazi Chidioke there. I can see Cosmic Insurance Brokers Limited, representing Alhaji Dr. Teslim Adekunle Sanusi. Yes. Please, others, in the event of your wanting to say a word, and then you make your commitment.
The chairman of this presentation. I'm here on behalf of Dr. Sanusi. I'm buying a copy of this book to the tune of 50,000 naira.
Oh.
Good afternoon, Chairman. On behalf of the Petrat is the local wing of the young people. So we are launching this book to the sum of 100,000. And on behalf of myself, as the president of the youth Petrat, I will launch the book to the sum of another 100,000.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Crystal and Diamond Insurance Brokers, we're launching this book with a sum of 50,000 naira.
Let's give General Tarfan the 5 copies he has asked for. But he has got to leave because he has got a commitment. Only a miracle has allowed him to be here.
Please, could you bring 5 copies to General Tafa, please? General Tafa has given 500,000 naira for 5 copies. Okay, and His Excellency would just like to say bye-bye to all of us. General Tafa, please.
And this is what happens usually after So many people have spoken so many beautiful things. So if you say something again, nobody even has time to hear you. But all I can say is thank you very much for this invitation. I will promise you that I will read every page of it because it will be very helpful to me. Fortunately, Felix, I'm happy that I was prepared before I left the army. So we in the army, we don't speak so much as such, but I can assure you that everything that has been said has gone very well. And to all those who have said something so beautifully about me, I thank them very much indeed. And I hope I have justified that. Thank you very much.
So while the elder statesmen are taking their leave, whoever wants to come and launch should, I think the floor is open now.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, applause for General Abuja has given 50,000 for a copy. Please, others, you could come up to.
On behalf of the Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons in Nigeria, and also on behalf of myself, we've been working with the doctor on this book. We will take another copy for 50,000. Thank you.
I recognize the Malami Transitional Group led by Ajia Aishetu. You're welcome. Please, in case you want to make any commitment, the microphone is still here for you for a while. Would you like to? All right, okay. Oh,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Musa Saliu, National Human Rights Commission, Executive Secretary just left here. They asked me to make a commitment of 150,000 naira for 10 copies. Thank you. You probably have 5 now.
the former permanent secretary of the Federal Capital Territory, Engineer Johnny Chuku, I learned is here and would like to buy copies of the book. Please, could you come over here, sir? Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, from the floor, in case you are interested in picking copies, ask for the launching price, and then you purchase your copy. Engineer Johnny Chuku has launched a copy for 50,000 naira. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pretty long journey because after this day, the formal presentation of the book, you can only buy copies on the shelf. And remember, this book is going to have a very short supply. So it's better you pick your copy and take advantage of the content. May I respectfully invite the chairman who is going to move the expression of thanks. Ayo Salam of Coinmark International, one book for 20,000 naira. One book, 20,000 naira. Okay. In addition to the 100, 10 books for 100,000 naira. Okay. The chairman, sir, please move the expression of thanks and then we close this book launch.
I'll move the expression of thanks, but I'm not declaring it closed. I wish to thank everybody for responding to the invitation. This is a measure of the esteem with which you hold Felix Amadi, but strictly speaking, it is also a measure of the esteem you hold yourself in, because by honoring other people, you are honoring yourself also. Now, before we leave, we wish to thank the wife of Chief Felix Amadi, because whatever he is today, if his wife did not encourage him, look after him, and support him, he would not be what he is today. In fact, there was a time when I was somewhere about 500 miles away from home, and my wife telephoned me. The person asked me, who is it? I said, it is my supervisor. Because your wife is your supervisor. She makes sure that everything about you is spick and span. She makes sure that what you wear on that day is what she dictates. And we thank Mrs. Amadi, and we ask her to continue in her effort to look after him, to look after the children, and to make sure that there is a future in the name of the family. We want to also thank our Baba, whom I'm going to see off now. At his age, if he does not hold Chief Felix Amadi in high esteem, he would not have come out and spent this much time. We thank you very much. God has uplifted him. He's uplifting those people who are behind him. We hope he's going to have several more years of service to this country. We thank him. You will not see much of me because I'm going to seek him off. And the MC will continue. I have directed that the MC does not close this occasion abruptly. Let him move until people feel comfortable about leaving. I thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, Sir Chairman. With the marching order that you have given to me, I remain here until you are all exhausted. So please, the launching is still going on. More copies are being required. More copies are available. You could pick it up here and make sure you pay for it. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a very lovely day, and I enjoyed every bit of your company. We appreciate you very well. My name remains Tokwe Adaramola. I appreciate your being very good audience today.